started to try stuff. And I was very proud that the Lakers didn't try stuff because they only had 9 turnovers. And that was huge to me because sometimes when you play opponents you know you're going to beat, you try different stuff and you turn the ball over, and that gives the other team momentum. So I was really proud that they came out, they took care of the basketball, they moved it properly, they got a lot of people involved, and more important, they was able to load management the right way.
The one thing I'd argue that they need to continue to try to do over the next 22 games is have the big three on the floor as much as possible together. Tonight was their 16th game because at the end of the day, after every game, you're going to look to the 3 of them. What did they do? Obviously, they combined tonight for 64, led by Luka's 28. But as we talked about last night, he was active. He had 12 and 5 assists in the first quarter. He had 8 of the team's 18 assists in the first half. But I think it just continued to get everyone empowered and involved. Yeah. It started with him, LeBron adding 24.
Yeah, I think that formula works for Luka. I mean, he can always get his points, but when he's getting people involved early, as you mentioned, 5 assists early in the game, that jump starts the team, you know, and it lets them know that he's sharing and he's looking and he's, you know, he's unselfish, and I think that spreads throughout the team. And then when he has to get his, he has no problem doing so. LeBron's playing a lot of bully ball too right now. He's using his size, his body to take advantage of people. Hit the ball. Hit the 3 ball tonight pretty good though. But yeah, they're figuring it out as long as they're on the floor together.
Yeah, it's all about getting the rhythm. And the most important thing is getting the rhythm, especially this late in the year. You see so many teams that have opportunities to go far in the playoffs. It's because they have a rhythm. You know, a lot of times it's about the talent, but more important, it's about the rhythm. If you're able to play like one another, you know each other on the court at all times, and you do certain things, like the little things, to make the team better, like passing the ball when you had a shot, pass it to another shot that makes it a great shot. So the way they're playing as a team right now is, like, I'm going to use your favorite, trending the right way.
And it's not just with the starters, it's not with just the big 3, but then we can trend into the bench. Another 43 from them tonight. And it was led by Luke Kennard. And you know, we just heard Mike Trudell talking with Luke post-game. And there's one thing I want to point out about it. For him, 27 over the last 2 nights in the last 48 hours, 7 of 12 from deep. He's shooting 48%, big game, on the season from downtown. He has an opportunity to be just the 9th player to have a 50% shooting season from 3.
Yeah, I mean, as high as his percentage is, he doesn't do it just by sitting out on the 3-point line. He gets those shots. He really moves well without the basketball. He'll get a backdoor cut for a layup. And so when you're that, you know, when you're that mobile, it keeps the defense wondering, is he going to cut? Is he going to, you know, set up and shoot the 3? And he does a good job of passing the ball off the dribble. So I think that's what makes him more effective, is that, you know he can shoot the 3, but every now and then he'll slip a backdoor in on you. He'll move it out the basketball, which makes him more potent, I think.
It also understands when you're a 3-point shooter, people are going to try to run you up the line. So I love the fact that sometimes he just catches and goes straight to the basket. A lot of 3-point shooters want to try to pump fake, side step, and still shoot a 3. He's not that type of guy. He'll pump fake and go to the rack. And then he'll keep his dribble alive, too, which a lot of guys will try to either get the layup or something. He'll keep his dribble alive, dribble back out, and throw it around and get an assist. So that's very important for guys not to just be one-dimensional. And he's not just a 3-point shooter. He's an active player, which makes it harder for the defense to guard him.
I think the final note for me, just to kind of take a step outside, look at it from big picture. Again, just 22 left on the season. You have 7 of your next 8 at home. So when you talk about stacking wins, we just looked at that previous homestand, 8-game homestand, where they were 4-4, and not many people happy with how that one ended. Where do you kind of take this in terms of making it consistent with the effort and just the production that you've been able to put forth of these last couple?
First thing I do is I remind them of that last homestand, how disappointing that was. Was that kind of like right before the All-Star break, too, a little bit?
It had that in it. Yep.
Yeah, so, yeah, that was disappointing. I would remind them of that. You know, if you have time, you might want to show segments of film where they lost it and, you know, gave up games, because you don't want that to happen again in this home stretch. You got to win these games. You got to guard your yard, as they say, and you know, you can't allow to be inconsistent at home. With 22 games left, they need some W's. They got to play like they played tonight against teams that are healthy and teams that are above 500. If they want to move up and stay out of that play-in situation.
You know, what I like best about this month is they have a bunch of teams in front of them. And so now you have your mark. You can make your mark by beating these teams and cementing yourself as a higher seed. So this month is really a true test for them. We have a lot of home games, but also there's a lot of tough teams that we have to play. So this is a way to tune up for the playoffs, because if you can beat these teams, you can be in a good position in the playoffs, and then you're already going to have that taste of blood in your mouth like a shark, and you're going to be like, okay, let's go out and let's eat.
See if the Lakers can do just that. Eat. Time to hear from Coach JJ Redick, brought to you by your Toyota dealers. It's like
JJ, did you feel some kind of cohesion between the two games this weekend, some just consistency in the way that you played in these two?
I did. I mean, I thought we ended up with 34 assists. I know we had 31 potential assists at halftime, 18 assists. Luka did a great job of getting us going. Talked to you about that, talked at halftime. Really enjoying that we get to do a few of these since we've gone so much time in the season without having our halftime interview. I'm enjoying them.
Glad to mention that.
And then, the carryover defensively, I thought, we did some things. The two bigs they have, are like Mitchell Robinson level offensive rebounders right now. They came in averaging 8 offensive rebounds between them over the last 5. Those guys hurt us, giving them second chance points, and thought there was a stretch there in the second quarter where our transition defense wasn't very good, but it was 4 quarters of good basketball. And to play, we got 6 games in 8 nights. To play in a back-to-back, one on the road, one at home, where nobody really is getting heavy minutes in either game, I think is important too.
Luka had some spectacular highlights tonight. I wondered if you could talk about the parts of his game that are necessary to pull off that shot he had on the right wing where he falls to the floor and is able to have the strength to get back up and make the fadeaway.
Yeah, I mean, there's Coach K used to always use the word daring. There's a daring to Luka's game. It's what makes, one of the many reasons that makes him such a special player. But he had a stretch there in the third quarter. We really struggled. We were struggling to get kind of cohesive offense and a lot of holding of the basketball. And, we called timeout, and I thought that stretch for him, he just made a bunch of amazing plays, and we got our pace back. And he split the blitz and scores at the rim. He has the wraparound pass